Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to day 2 of the MLG X Games Invitational. Chris Puckett up in the booth with Benson for the day. And Ben, it's the second day of group play. A lot on the line for our 8 teams.
Yeah, there's so much on the line, Puckett. Right now we have one of the best games of the day. I personally think when we look at the games that we have today, and loser goes home.
It's going to be crazy. You know, we kicked off yesterday with our first 4 matches. Let's take a look back at some of the action. Starting with Group A, we opened up the day with the world champions Evil Geniuses and their first matchup against Strictly Business. And surprisingly, Strictly Business, the 8th seed, really gave them a run for their money in the first couple games.
They did. I was really surprised by what we saw from Strictly Business. Whether it was EG just, you know, not on full tempo, maybe just, you know, just relaxing and getting into the X Games. But in a tournament like this, you really can't afford to do that. You need to be pedal to the metal all the time. And you can see Stainville there on your screen for Strictly Business. And, you know, you got to give these guys some props, because going into this, I think a lot of people just completely wrote them out, Puckett. They were like, oh, SB, no, they're not going to do anything. You don't even need to worry about them. But realistically, they've looked very good.
And, you know, then we also saw Optic Nation facing off against Team Caliber. That was our number 4 seed versus number 5. And I think there's a lot of people surprised by Optic Nation, and they're struggling against Team Caliber.
Yeah, and it comes down to the way that they're playing right now, and they're structured as a team. They're playing very much objective-based work, as opposed to, you know, that new meta which is kind of developed of just hardcore slaying. They don't really have that many slayers on that team, so realistically, it's pretty tough for them when they come up against teams like, for example, EG, who just have so much slaying potential. Any one of EG can drop serious numbers, and that's the big problem that Optic Nation are going to face.
And, you know, Optic Nation, now after that loss to Team Caliber, they're fighting for their lives.
Miracles, he needs to get big on the back, guys. 1, that's 2. Keeps it neutral.
And
can he grab control?
There are a few of the highlights from yesterday's match. It was pretty close, you know, watching these guys in the past, but Optic Nation today, they really need to take it to that next level. We've seen them have some great games where they're able to slay for a short period of time. They need to do it for all 10 minutes of the respawn game modes, because Search and Destroy was not a problem.
Right, that was the big thing for them yesterday, which was just, you expect them to win, but they actually lost the last Search and Destroy against TK in extraordinary fashion. I mean, I think it was it 6-1, 6-2?
Yeah, the first game, or the first Search, they looked so strong. You know, Killa, he was calling all the right plays. They took that one 6-3, and then the second Search, you just felt like they weren't the same team. It wasn't Optic Nation.
It just didn't look as if they were playing in full sync as we saw in the first one. But where it gets really interesting is when Optic Nation play against Strictly Business, obviously Strictly Business with FizzUp now. I mean, Killer and FizzUp, everyone in the community knows these two play 2v2s all the time together. They're good friends, you know, they love Search and Destroy. And now they're sat in different booths. They're playing against each other. And I believe every time that they've met in 1v1s, it's always been FizzUp that's been coming out on top. So Killer has that added little bit of incentive to try and take him down. But one thing's for sure, Nation cannot drop Search and Destroy again today, because that was the fundamental reason that they're in this position they're in today.
So Optic Nation, we're going to see what they can do in their respawns. Can they show their true strengths in Search and Destroy? Of course, that will be our first match today, Strictly Business versus Optic Nation. But later in the day, we're also going to see our Group A matches. That's going to be the afternoon, or Group B match, excuse me. That'll be our afternoon matches. And not a whole lot of surprises here. Everyone thought that Envy and Optic Gaming would be going through. FaZe Red was able to take a game away from Optic Gaming, as Envy had a 3 over Curse Orange. But that 3-0 was actually a lot closer than the numbers will tell.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all those games. I mean, the first domination was only a couple of points in it, then the Search and Destroy was relatively close as well. Blitz was, I think, a 2-point game by the time the time finally ran out, but you got to give Curse Orange some props. Obviously, they're playing with the pickup as well, with Saint, and they looked relatively decent. Whether, again, that was just Team Envious, just kind of not on full pedal to the metal kind of mode, you know. Maybe they have a couple of extra gears that they need to click into, but playing against Optic Gaming tonight, they're definitely going to need to go full tempo against them, because that is going to be, I mean, every time we see these two play, Puckett, it's always a game for the ages. You've got to love it.
It's going to be great. Optic Gaming versus Envy will play tonight at 7 p.m. That is going to be our winners match. The winner of that guaranteed a spot in the single elimination bracket. But first, we're going to start our day with some losers matches. If you lose here, you're out of the tournament. The winner will get a second chance to earn a spot in that single elim. Ben, at the start of the day, we have 8 teams. Who do you think is going to make it to our Final Four?
Oh, I honestly don't know. It's just so close. I mean, every team here just looks very, very talented. It's not usually like we'll have, oh, you know, 1 or 2 teams which are just far and above everyone else.
Right.
Every single game that we're going to see today is most likely going to be a very, very close game. Talking
to Karma from Evil Geniuses, he said, I feel like this is going to probably be the best tournament so far in Ghost. All of these teams have gotten a lot better. we're going to have some contenders. So excited to see what is going to come out today. It's time to get things started. Let's take a look at our first match on the day. Optic Nation, our number 4 seed, taking on the number 8 seed Strictly Business. There is a look at Stainville from SB. If you don't know these teams yet, let's meet our first squad, Optic Nation. And Benson, this Optic squad has been so impressive in SND. The Respawn game modes, we've talked about their struggle, but they have 2 world champions on this team, Killa and Miracles, of course, winning those titles in Black Ops 2. Killa just 21 years old, and this guy has so much game smarts, but he's backed up by an incredible AR Slayer. Talk to me a little bit about Ricky.
Ricky's just a fantastic assault rifle player. He's going to be that guy that's going to sit back, pick up kills, and make his objective player's life so much easier. And one of those objective plays is Miracles. Miracles, the duo, of course, with Killa, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 world champion.
Miracles plays with so much energy. Want to see him get hyped early on in that series, get the momentum in that booth, get everyone fired up, and then really the objective man to watch is going to be Embos as well. He and Miracles kind of double teaming that objective work on this squad. Embos, he started this new squad, Optic Nation. They finished top 4 at their most recent LAN tournament at UGC Niagara. Now they're fighting for their lives against our team on the other side of the main stage, Strictly Business.
Yeah, Strictly Business. They came here, as I said earlier on, no one really expected them to do much, but they're playing very well. I've got to give it to them. Obviously, with the addition of FizzUp in the Search and Destroy game, it just looks unbelievable. Yesterday, he dropped 12 kills in the first S&D we saw. Absolutely phenomenal stuff coming from Fizz.
It's going to be interesting. Well, let's send it down to the floor. I want to hear from Embos, the captain of Optic Nation, how he feels about yesterday and his thoughts coming into today's matches.
All right, Puckett, I'm down here with Embos. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty confident. You know, yesterday we always lose first match every event. It's like a curse. But I'm confident in our Respawn game. You know, as the event goes on, we progress every time, just like UGC Niagara. I really have no worries. I'm looking forward to this match, so it's going to be a good match, playing a good group of my friends. So I'm confident, I'm ready to win.
So Twitter was really excited for me to interview you yesterday, but you fell to Team Caliber, so it didn't happen. Now, what went wrong, and what holes do you think you guys need to fix?
Honestly, we were up in the strike zone dom, and we just gave it away. You know, we didn't start rotating. It was just we just threw the game away. It was honestly our own fault. But then the S&D last map, you know, we didn't really even have teamwork. We weren't communicating well. But like I said, today's a new day, and we're just gonna progress.
Now this is the X Games. So what does this mean for you guys to actually win this?
If we win this, I'm throwing a party because gold medal. That's crazy. It's crazy to even be here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
So now you're going up against Strictly Business. Now, were you impressed at all with how they performed yesterday with EG?
I was, actually, because Strike Zone Dom, everyone knows EG, they're a really good slaying team. And to keep Strike Zone Dom really close like that was impressive. And then take the search, EG actually 6-0'd us the champs on that Warhawk search. So, you know, Strictly Business is a good team, like I said, so I'm ready. All
right, so any last final words for us here?
We're going to win.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Back up to you guys at the booth.
I like it. Embos pretty confident about his chances today in this matchup.
Yeah, he's feeling good, but you have to go into every game thinking you're going to win. Otherwise, I mean, what's the point in playing?
I liked it that he also called out, we lose first match every tournament. This is no surprise. They like the pressure, I think, man. They like being in that lower bracket, having to battle their way through. Well, today they're definitely going to have some tough challengers. We weren't sure what we were going to see from Strictly Business, but after watching their matches yesterday, this is a squad that can hang with the best of them. Let's take a look at SB.
So, Strictly Business kick off with Stainville, an AR Slayer. He's been playing since Call of Duty 4, and he's obviously 23, but what a fantastic player. I mean, he's been around forever, and he is honestly one of my favorite players to watch.
Really the true veteran, hanging with a bunch of young guns. You got Spacely, just 17 years old, an objective player who showed off his slaying power in the matches yesterday. Such incredible gun skill, but you'll also see him carrying those flags. It's going to be John. John really the X factor for this squad. When he's hot, he can drop some huge numbers. When he's not, you can see the team struggle. John can have a lot of pressure on him, but so is FizzUp. FizzUp really the S&D all-star on this squad. We saw what he could do against EG, dropping 12 kills in that Warhawk game. The question is, can he keep playing the way that he was at the end of that match? last night when it comes to the respawns this morning.
That's exactly what I was going to mention, the respawns. That's where he struggled a little bit yesterday. So you look at players like John, for example, to try and pick up that slack. John was playing very well in respawn yesterday, but if FizzUp can, he needs to do a lot of objective-based role just to make that team's life a lot easier.
Well, it's going to be a best of 5. We're going to have some incredible matches. Let's send it down to the floor before we get things started. We have Justine with Spacely.
All right, we are minutes away. Now, how are you feeling? Because you had a crazy game yesterday with EG, and you guys almost won it.
We're feeling great right now. We know we had a tough loss against EG, arguably the best team in the game, so we know we have to bounce back through the lower bracket. We're feeling really comfortable. We had a tough game against them, and it could have gone either way. So we're staying motivated, positive, and we're going to go through this lower bracket and hope we pull through.
So you picked up FizzUp for this tournament here. So, I mean, how has it been playing with him?
He brings a great S&D game for our team. He hasn't really played Respawn in a while, but he has a good understanding of filling the lanes and playing for the team. And like his stats aren't great, but he does what he needs to do for the team to keep the games close and hopefully win the domination games.
So I was just chatting with Embos, and he's pretty confident about winning this, and you guys are also confident. So what do you think is going to actually happen? I mean, I know you're going to say you're going to win, but come on.
Every team should be confident in themselves, and it's going to be a great series. We all play with each other all the time. We all know each other's tendencies, and it's going to be a really close series, but we're going to pull through.
All right, well, I wish you the best of luck, and I'll hopefully see you back here after the game.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Justine. So Spacely, he knows it. They got to stay confident. FizzUp, it's not a numbers game for him. He's just got to do what the team needs from him.
So he's going to be filling in those gaps and basically just covering the lanes, exactly what Spacely said. And it's an important role, and it's a role which I think we often overlook. It's very much like a Kroster-esque kind of role. He's never going to be dropping the highest digits. You're never going to see him on top of the scoreboard, but he does such a vital role, and every team needs a player just like that.
Got to get your predictions here, Ben. Got to do it every matchup. Yesterday we were off on a few or correct on a few others.
I think it's going to come down to whether FizzUp can help his team, can help SB through to the S&D, because if Strictly Business can take an S&D off Optic Nation, I think they're going to win this series, because yesterday SB looked so good against the world champions EG that it's kind of hard to root against them. But I mean, Nation, as Embo said, they lose first game of the day, bit of a curse, and they seem to sort of kick into action, but watch out for the Search and Destroys, because if we do see Strictly Business pick up a Search and Destroy, for me, that series over.
You can see the players warming up, and look at that focus on Killa's face. He is ready to get going here for Optic Nation. Before you give me your prediction, here are the maps. We got Strike Zone Domination to kick things off. Map number 2 is going to be Warhawk for some S&D. We're headed to Freight for Blitz, and then we're going to finish things off on Sovereign, back-to-back, doing Sovereign Domination, followed by a final Game 5 of Sovereign Search and Destroy.
I'm looking at that first map, Strike Zone, and after watching Strictly Business play yesterday, you have to favor them. You really do. Playing against EG, they kept it so close. And then Warhawk, that should go to Nation. I think it's going to come down to that Sovereign S&D. It's all going down to that 5th map.
Woo! I'm excited, man. Here we go. It looks like game number 1, just a few moments away. The players have ended their free-for-all. They're going to get the map loaded up. Now, Strike Zone is the map that Strictly Business played EG in yesterday. This was a 1-point game. EG considered the best team in the game right now. I'm thinking that SB has the advantage over Optic Nation.
I'm going to agree with you. I really am. And I was speaking to Spacely after, and I think you may remember it. When Spacely was pushing that A flag, he had 3 players in front of him. He got a 3-piece, and the 4th player spawned on the A flag, and he didn't realize it. If he'd have realized that, it was one of the most unlucky spawns I've ever seen on the game. If he'd have realized that, they could have won that game. And he knows that as well. He was watching the VOD back last night. He was like, we could have won that game. We could have beaten EG. So
that was his first question. Where is Benson? I need to find out what went wrong in that situation.
It was the most unlucky thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So I kind of feel bad for him, but he knows today, like, he's just on form. He can't wait for this map, and it's no surprise to see that map come in first. Everyone seems to love Strike Zone Domination, and for me, Strictly Business pick up this map.
While the players are getting ready, let's take a look at our full schedule for today. Of course, we're getting things started with our losers match from Group A. That's going to be Strictly Business versus Optic Nation. followed by our winners match. That is going to secure one of these teams a spot in our medals bracket. Will it be Evil Geniuses or Team Caliber? We'll find out at 12:30. But Ben, I know you and I are both super excited for that 2 p.m. match. It's the 2v2 All-Star.
I can't wait. I really can't wait. And what makes it really interesting is Killer and FizzUp are actually teaming together in the 2v2 All-Star. So they have that S&D knowledge together, but now we get to see them against each other. It's going to be awesome. And obviously 3 p.m. we have the Group A finals, which I'm equally excited for as well.
Group A finals. That is going to decide the second team coming out of Group A. And then, of course, we'll switch over to Group B for Optic Gaming versus Envy. We're going to see Curse Orange versus FaZe Red. A lot of great matches still to come later on. Long day here at the X Games, but I'm ready to get it started. You see the players talking with the ref, making sure that the maps are correct. They have the right settings. They'll get it loaded up in just a minute. And I love that camera shot on John. I really think he is going to be the player who needs to go off. Yesterday, it was Spacely and John slaying everything on this map.
Yeah, they were playing so well. And John, all throughout that series, to be fair, played very, very consistent. He was dropping serious numbers in those respawns and played intelligently in the Search and Destroy. And then, obviously, Miracles now on your screen, that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 World Champion. He knows these situations, they're nothing to him. That high pressure where it's a must-win game, he doesn't even feel that pressure anymore.
Yeah, this man has played for $400,000.
He knows the pressure. He knows. Don't even worry about it.
All right, off the break, who would you like to watch here, Benson, as we head to Strike Zone?
I think John, to be completely honest with you. I think, as we were saying, he's going to be one of those big factors for SB, trying to pick up that map. We need to keep our eyes out on him and see if he can continue off that slaying where he left off yesterday.
Also, keep in mind, FizzUp had a rough game in his first domination. He only dropped 16 kills on this map. I'm going to look for him to drop some big numbers. He dropped 12 in Search and Destroy the following game. And we saw him really warm up in his later domination game. But here we go. John, off the break from Strictly Business, is on your screen.
And I'm looking at that minimap on the top left bucket, see if anyone is splitting in an unusual way. You've got Killer pushing that B flag for Nation. He's going to be doing that with Embos. And Strictly Business just trying to close in, but Optic Nation are actually going to win that fight on the B flag. So look for John now to try and be aggressive, pick up a couple of kills around the outside. I think he recognizes that B flag is already gone, but he's done a good job slaying around the outside, but not going to be able to pick up any more kills.
John falls. FizzUp trying to answer back. Did kill Killa, getting a bit of revenge. Going to watch that kitchen door. Looks away just at the wrong time. Will he find that player? Going to call it out, and he is going to get pinched from the left. So nice push there from Optic Nation with 2 flags off the break.
A good start for them. However, Strike Zone, as we discussed yesterday, all about rotations. Whichever team can rotate always has that better advantage. I'm looking at FizzUp as SB control that B flag. He's managed to pick up a couple of good kills, 3 and 2 to kick things off. So, we were saying watch out for him. He needs to play well. He started off very well. Actually, as Stainville jumps onto that A flag. He's going to have a couple of players pushing for a pro shot. Sees one, but doesn't connect with those shots. Embos gets the kill.
FizzUp trying to answer back, gets one, looking for a second now, and nice kills coming from Killa. He's 4 and 2, the captain of his former squad, now playing on Embos' team here, Optic Nation. He's the shot caller in Search and Destroy, but who's calling the shots when it comes to a game mode like Domination?
Optic Nation, they're all about everyone calling the shots. They don't have an individual shot caller. They recognize the importance of everyone making those decisions. So I'm looking now to see if Optic can try and get a bit of a spawn trap going on that B flag. They should be able to. SB haven't been able to get out of that B flag for quite a while. And Ricky now has to pick up a couple of kills. There's one on John. Has the time to reload. His teammate clears up. And SB are in a bit of a pickle right now because they're not getting out of that B flag at all.
Looks like Killa trying to rotate over to keep A in control of Optic Nation. Big kill there. Now a 7-point lead, as Optic Nation's going to try and pull away. They do have their opponent still trapped inside this bar. Embos losing his gun battle to John. John's trying to break out. Miracles won't be able to shut down the push. Killa in the action now. Killa almost turning on him. And now with 3 down, it's going to be Optic Nation on the back foot. Strictly Business needs to pick a flag though, and it looks like they're making that decision. A great grenade there from Embos.
Yeah, Embos recognized straight away that was going to be the push from Strictly Business. He picked up FizzUp with the nade, but Stainville comes out clutch. He gets the 2-piece of his own. Miracles with a big win over at that B flag. One more to his right hand side. He doesn't see it. And just like that, Strictly Business turn it around on the pin.
Switching over to Strictly Business now. It's Optic Nation trying to push into B. Stainville looking to support his teammate. Unfortunately, his teammate died in that back. Stainville just dodging behind this pole, trying to stay alive until he can get some support. 2 players in the bar, he finally goes down. He kept them off of B for a moment, but now it's being challenged.
Oh, Killer just got a huge Q-piece on that B flag as well. He shut down John and Fizzip, both pre-firing at him, and Killer is going to pick up that flag. Still a very close game though, considering how long Nation had SB trapped in that B flag. Just shows you the importance of rotating on this map. And Killer, speaking of rotating, recognizes he's losing C flag. What does he do? He pushes that pro shot, trying to secure that A flag from one of his teammates to get the cap, but Fizzip comes out strong.
Nice play from Fizzerp over at A, but Miracles cleans him up, and now Ricky and Miracles will retake A. B is being challenged though. Killa once again in the action. Great grenade there. 2 more players inside. Ricky's going to push over and just rotate to C. They're not going to challenge B. They're much more comfortable out on the flanks.
Fizzip having a much better game than he did yesterday. Already 13 and 10. So when it comes to that slaying catch, he's actually leading his team right now. So he's obviously feeling a lot more comfortable as Miracles picks up one. Can he find the second up top? He's going to have the flag. At least Neutral gets the kill as well. Fizzip. Miracles with a big play on that C flag.
B is also being taken while they're losing A, so Optic Nation, nice job of rotating. Look at this spawn though. Ricky had a player right behind him in B, and they will lose their second flag. Unfortunate situation here for Optic Nation. This could be the break that Strictly Business
Oh,
needed.
Miracles. Oh, Miracles just got a 3-piece. He's just owning that kill feed completely by himself. 13 and 8. 8-point spree. He's going to go back to that C flag. He needs to be careful though, because the Strictly Business player is going to be rushing behind him. He sees one. Is he going to get a kill as well? No. Does finally get taken down. And that was Spacely with a big kill on that C flag.
Basically falls to Ricky. Ricky in the action here. He's going to get taken out. All kinds of deaths over at the C flag. B being challenged once again by Killa. And it looks like Optic Nation will take this back going into the final 30 seconds. Currently with a 13-point lead. Looking to end this half up about 80-66.
Killer and Miracles really showing exactly why they are that duo. 15 kills for Killer, 14 for Miracles. And as well, 5 and 4 caps. So they're top slaying and top capping, doing absolutely everything they possibly can for this Optic Nation team as Miracles looks, picks up one, nearly found the second. That would have been a ridiculous kill. Meanwhile, Killer just trying to get some kills on that B flag. Doesn't matter, time runs out. An 82-65 point lead. And I've got to say, that's a different SB team than we saw yesterday. Fizzip, 18 kills in one side pocket.
Nice work there from Fizzerp here. But the rotations, Killa having some really big plays in that B bar, helped Optic Nation kind of pull away at the start. Let's see if they can keep it going. Spacely and Frenzo looking very strong. Who do you want to watch here? Is it Fizzerp?
I think, yeah, I want to see Fizzip. You know, we said he needs to pick up his slaying, and he's done just that. 18 kills in one side is very impressive. So I want to see if he can continue on this rampage. He's going to have to if SB going to have any chance of picking up. And that's a great start. 3 Optic Nation players down for Strictly Business. They should be able to cap that B flag and also put some pressure on the A flag.
Right now, Nation with about an 18-point lead. Fizzerp doing some work up top here for Strictly Business. He's going to have, it looks like that's John and Stainville pushing in. John is going to move and grab one. Fizzerp trying to protect him on the back end. John's going to get 2. Nice push from both players. Now it's up to Stainville and Spacely to lock down B.
Stainville recognizes players are going to be pushing through that pro shop area to see one of the smartest players really on the pro circuit. Picks up 1 kill, 4 players go down, and SB, they are in full control of this game. They're going to cap that A flag. They have the trip cap now. How are Optic Nation going to reply?
Fizzerp doesn't see the player to his right, gets some help though. Saves his teammate in the action, and unfortunately he goes down. Spacely, meanwhile, getting tagged up top by some stun grenades. Not going to go down until getting 1, and now Stainville on a 5-kill spree has just been a monster roaming through this middle.
Yep, and he's going to find another 2 people in front of him. Picks up 1, couldn't find the second though. They have finally lost that A flag, but someone is on there. If Stainville picks up that flag, that kill would have been huge. Fizzip now all by himself. He just plays for the neutral. Smart play coming in from him. Recognizes there was a player around there, and just fantastic stuff really coming in from Fizzip today.
And now it looks like Optic Nation's going to go for B flag, but the spawn trap is being set up by Stainville here on this right side. 2 players challenging him. The grenade will not connect, unfortunately. Spacely, he's going to have everyone charging his direction.
He's going to pick up 1. Couldn't find the second though. SB are in the lead. The first time in this strike zone domination. However, Optic Nation are on that C flag. They're going to look at putting a stop to this Strictly Business momentum. John, meanwhile, on that B flag, just trying to cause some problems, but Miracles makes small work of him. Stainville pushing in towards that kitchen side. There is going to be an Optic Nation player there. Can he get the kill? No, decides to back off. Smart play coming in from Stain.
I got Spacely lit up. He's going to be challenging over top bridge. He is immediately cleaned up. Didn't expect a buddy right behind him as Stainville jumps out, gets the 2-piece trophy down. he should be able to get C. The action, though, is going to be at A. Let's see what FizzUp can do about this 3-man push from Nation.
Not much, as you said. 3-man push, and they just jump down straight on top of FizzUp. Really not much you could do in that situation. Killer roaming between both A and B. Needs to put some pressure on C Flag. Nation do have that lead, but it's a fragile one. 113 to 106. Still 2.5 minutes left to play.
Action up top. Miracles is going to get a bit of revenge on FizzUp, who took out his teammate Killa, and now Miracles going for C. Nice turn there as he gets the quick kill. Will he secure C? One more kill up top needs to be secured.
Oh,
and he's got the flag. Won't be able to get the kill. Will Embos be able to defend it? Everyone's spawning in bar, so that should be a free C flag for Strictly Business. 122 to 110, back in favor of Optic Nation now.
That C flag neutral. It's going to be about who wins this gunfight. Miracles recognizes he does get the kill, so that is going to at least keep that flag neutral for now. So the big fight all over this A side and the B flag side. C still neutral, and this is good for Nation. As long as they can keep hold of their own flag of space, he just got a huge defensive 2-piece. Third player in the middle of the map, he goes for the pre-fire, nobody home. C still neutral Puckett. No one yet to get some grasp on that fight.
Here's the rotation by John finally here for Strictly Business. There will be a challenger up top. Stainville's going to have to deal with this now as John is cleaned up.
Oh, this is going to be close. No, caught with the nade in his hand, and Killer picks up that kill. But meanwhile, FizzUp's in a great position to put some pressure on this B flag. He's going to have players pushing through the kitchen. He gets the call up from his teammate, picks up one. Still one more player coming in. This is all going to be down to FizzUp. He hasn't got the flag neutral just yet. He's pre-firing everywhere. Nobody home, but he has got the flag finally neutral. His teammates helping him out on the B flag, and they should be able to get control of it. Last 1 minute, and we've got a 122 to 136 point game. FizzUp trying to pre-fire still. Embos picks up a huge 2-piece as he pushes into that B flag, and now SB, they have to rotate to the C flag because they have no control over B.
Yeah, you can only get 12 points in a minute if you're holding 2 flags and the opposing team has 1. So, let's go to Ben screen real quick here. Having some controller issues on my box. And Ben, we got John on your screen for the moment. It looks like 141 to 130. We're going to need a 3-cap for Strictly Business if they want to get it close at the end.
Yep, they're going to need to push absolutely everything. The big play could come from FizzUp here on the B flag. He's going to have a couple of plays around there. Looks to his bottom, picks up one, but there is Killer inside that B flag as well. And that kill looks as if it could just be enough to keep Optic Nation the win. Only a very, very small differential. I mean, what's that? It's going to end at about, what, 3-4 points. SB, they're trying to push in that B flag, but it is too much too late. It's going to end a 2-point game.
That is heartbreaking.
3-point game.
141 to 144. 2 games for Strictly Business on Strike Zone, and they've lost both of them by less than 4 points. We are going to see Optic Nation taking a big domination win. They're got to feel very confident heading into this Game 2 Search and Destroy now.
Yeah, now all they need to do, Puckett, is just hold those Search and Destroys. Obviously, you don't want it to go to a Game 5. It'd be nice if they could win the Blitz.
Right.
Will they win another domination? Honestly, I don't think they'll be able to. Strike Zone is going to be their best possible map to pick up for domination, simply because of how quickly it is to rotate. It still requires a very objective-heavy sort of meta game, as opposed to other maps like Octane, where you just need to be getting a lot of kills.
Well, we asked, will FizzUp be able to stand strong and step up his respawn game? Take a look at what this guy has done for Strictly Business so far. Last night, going off in Search and Destroy, but now, Saturday morning, with their tournament life on the line, he's dropping 35 kills. Here's a look at your stats. 35-25 with 3 captures for FizzUp. On the other side, it was Killa's rotation and clutch plays that really sealed the deal for Nation. 10 captures on that game.
He was here, there, and everywhere, as well as that still managed to go even, 25 for 25. Fantastic stuff from him, as well as duo partner Miracles, 28-26. He had 5 caps. Those two really leading the team for a big majority of that strike zone, but you got to give FizzUp some serious props, as he said, Puckett. 35 kills. He played, I think, how many kills he got? 16 yesterday on the same map against EG, but he just really stepped up on another level, and now it goes to Search and Destroy. This is where we have Killer versus FizzUp.
It's going to be a good one, guys. Search and Destroy game number 2 is coming up when we return. Will Strictly Business be able to tie it up, or will Optic Nation jump out to a 2-0 lead?